I'm not exaggerating when I say Jurassic World Rebirth had all the pieces of being a masterpiece, but falls short in every way. I just watched the movie, so here's my full spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the film. So this movie takes place 5 years after the dumpster fire that is Jurassic World Dominion, and it follows this new team made up of Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali, and a few others as they go on this expedition to try to receive these samples from dinosaurs out in the wild. And right away, the biggest problem with this movie is that everything about it is so safe and generic. I can only describe it as like a plain scoop of vanilla ice cream. Like, nobody's gonna walk out of the theater hating this movie, but it's also not gonna be like mind-blowing or anybody's favorite. I'll get to the more negative aspects in a moment, but there are things I really like about this film. Some of the scenes of like discovering these dinosaurs do capture that original like wow and wonder of the original Jurassic Park in some ways. I also think when the movie finally embraces the horror side of things, it does really work. But the biggest problem with this movie is without a doubt the fact that every action scene has no bite, pun fully intended. Now, I'm not saying there aren't intense moments in the movie, and there are characters getting killed off by dinos in this film, but the problem is all the most intense moments and character death scenes either happen off screen, I'm not kidding you, like you don't see what happens in the moment and it's just magically resolved, or like, oh, that person died. Or when you do actually see something on screen, it ends up feeling unintentionally hilarious instead of super serious like this movie thinks it is, because of that PG-13 rating, which I know is what all these movies have been, but it's time to give us that R-rated Jurassic World movie. It would be 10 times better if you just did not hold back on the action. Now, I do actually really like our main big three movie stars in the film. Like I said, it's played by ScarJo, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. I think they're all really good in the movie. The problem is they almost feel like side characters, because on their way to this island, they run into this family that literally have zero reason to be in this movie, yet they take up about like half the runtime. Like, I literally don't know why these characters exist in the film. Like, I'm sorry, you simply either needed to focus on this family being on this island, or you needed to focus on the team of Scarlett Johansson and her people trying to get the dinosaur samples. Having all of them makes it so this character has like 8 main characters, so nobody has time to get developed. It's spread way too thin. Now, with that being said, I do have to admit that this kid that's like the boyfriend of the daughter in the family is probably the funniest part of the movie. Like, he has some of the best lines that were getting the most laughs out of the entire film, in my theater at least. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, yeah, this movie isn't like straight up terrible or anything. I do really think it's an enjoyable, fine enough, big dumb summer blockbuster, and a few of the action sequences, like this one in the water, the one with the big like xenomorph looking dinosaur you've seen all over the marketing, those are really enjoyable scenes. And even some of the negatives, like some of the deaths or intense moments feeling goofy, do make it entertaining to watch, even if it's not a good thing. But it was just kind of disappointing, because while I do think this is better than the previous 2 Jurassic World movies, because like, yeah, I enjoy this cast more than Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, it does lean into those horror elements a little bit more. But again, you don't get enough with this new cast, and you don't lean enough into the horror elements. Nothing goes far enough in this film. So I know this sounds very negative, but it gets like a 6 out of 10 for me, because it's a solid and fun enough big dumb blockbuster that, like I said, everybody's going to enjoy on some level, but you'll probably forget about it immediately after walking out of the theater. If you want to see my other reviews for recent movies like Elio, 28 Years Later, How to Train Your Dragon, and more, click the playlist above my head, and thank you for watching.